All right, welcome back to another WRP live play TTRPG session. What is WRP? Well, that's me, Faye, game master and storyteller, and Lachlan, our writer and producer. We are a couple who love sharing stories, so much so that we quit our day jobs and created our own company. That way we could create high quality and exciting TTRPG experiences full time and share them with you. And tonight we're playing D&D. This session features D&D's Shadow of the Dragon Queen, a riveting adventure of courage and valor, where our intrepid heroes face unbeatable odds in a cataclysmic war. I'm not dressed up, it's just makeup, Bridian, that's all I say. It's the same shirt. Sorry. With us at the table, we do have several of the incredible players who have joined us on our grand endeavor. If you'd like to play alongside them, you're more than welcome to join us. You can ask in chat or hop over to our Discord where you can find out for more information. Now, speaking of our awesome players, it's time for introductions. Like I said, I'm Faye, game master and storyteller. With me is Sirenscape, bringing all of our background music and sound effects. It's a fantastic and affordable sound collection that you can find at sirenscape.com. And now, let us meet our courageous, daring heroes before they embark on another exciting tale, filled with wonder and discovery. Maybe some other things. And we'll begin with an introduction for Vass.
Hi, I'm Caitlin. I'm playing Vass. Vass is a devilishly handsome tiefling bard rogue who has found himself accidentally stumbling across the multiverse. This week's fun fact about Vass is actually one of his pet peeves is whenever he wears his socks and walks around in his sock feet, he will find water or moisture if it's on the floor, and he will step in it, and it drives him crazy.
It's the true curse. Amazing. Next up for our introductions, let's learn about Rue.
Okay, I am front board and I am bringing Rhubarb Bafflewander, aka Rue, to the table. He is a forest gnome sorcerer level 6, hailing from the island of Sandcrest, far to the west of our setting. He's 114 years young, 3'4" tall, I believe, tallest of his tribe, shock of wispy white hair on the top of his head. I don't really have a fun fact, but to riff off of what Vass said, I would think that Root probably never really wears socks, because you don't wear socks in the forest. Come on.
I can't believe we're having the sock conversation in two areas of this community. um, so, with our introductions covered, we may have Hugh join us at a later time. Keep your eyes out for that. But we wait no longer. We return to Kryn. We return to Ansalon, and we return to the northern wastes, where you've been traveling quite a bit. You have covered much ground and done much work. You've been traveling far from your Calamon allies. However, you are heading towards something powerful, something that could aid you further. A place of power that Dalamar had located. But before you could arrive, you had met with Dragon Army officers and the Dragonels that they rode. We did battle, defeated them, lest they find that place of power and claim whatever was there. But Rue's looking a little rough afterwards.
Rue's looking a lot rough afterwards.
Dalamar.
Rue just wants to lay down on the sand and take a nap.
Uh, you would see Dalamar look down to you, Rue, and then over to Vash. Well, perhaps we take a small rest. We are in no condition to make good research if we're in poor conditions.
I mean, that guy, he just flat out skewered me with that lance of his. Had a lot of nerve. Were they carrying, was it lances or like javelins?
They were lances. Lances and heavy crossbows.
I think it was like all skewers from lances on Rue. I mean, I could definitely use it. I don't know about the two of you.
Caitlin, take an inspiration point.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm okay to rest. You're not looking so good, bud.
Probably wouldn't be talking to you right now if you didn't give me at least that little bit of healing in the fight.
So, why don't we find a place for you suitable to rest, and we'll do so with a survival check.
I think I can give myself like advantage on that with my gnomish crap. That's the technical term.
We love technical terms here.
Is it? I thought I could. Oh no, maybe I have to do it with a... I'm thinking of Kenku. Never mind.
Sparkle on the mind.
That's right. Kenku recall in a gnome.
So, ooh, that's, it all looks like rock and dirt to you. Not much different. You do see a little bit of the water from the low wash traveling through, because it was high wash just the day before, so it's not all dried out. Rue, as you're kind of looking through, traveling through everything, you would find, not having to go down into the canyons or anything, there's a small sort of covered area, a little cave-like place where you guys can rest, with some relative safety for a little bit of time.
I'll point it out to the others. And maybe just like stubbornly start heading that way whether they follow or not.
Yeah, Dalamar's definitely following. He's not going to leave besides the people who's supposed to protect him.
I think at the end of combat, Vass had already like scoured the bodies of those dragon soldiers as well.
Yeah, there wasn't any orders on them, is what you had found. It was just the sort of stuff that you were expecting, as well as some snacks, normal, typical stuff. But no orders of like, this is what you're looking for in this area to kind of give you a hint of what was happening. It was just, they were there.
Did Rue harvest some more, bits for, boots?
I'm still waiting for those boots back in Kalaman, right? They've been on my mind
Yeah,
this whole time we've been up here.
you were supposed to pick them up, and then everything just happened.
It's like we could probably have them in like I think it was like a week or two or something like that. That was like
Yeah.
probably several weeks ago now.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
It's still on my notes and motivations list every single week. Maybe one day we'll get back there, as long as the place isn't razed to the ground.
Yeah. There's nothing
Are
like
these
that.
Dragonlance the same color?
Oh, that's a
Yes.
good question.
These were, red Dragonlance.
Same color as my belt.
And the
And me.
boots.
and the boots. But we were gonna dye the boots. I think we're gonna dye the boots to be
Like an
maybe even,
orange. Yeah,
yeah,
I
like a little
believe.
more autumnal orange.
Yeah, I think that's what you guys talked about. We can always go back to the BOD. It's fine. So yeah, I remember the whole Vass being red thing with a kender on your travels. That was fun. Um,
Yeah. Red and horned.
red and horned. That's enough for him. Uh, so you find this cave and you can set up for a quick rest here. Um, and so as you guys are taking a short rest, let's see if anything you would notice about a traveling companion.
Heck, I'm going for it. Let's see. Sweet.
Uh, I will remind our bard of a certain second level bard feature. You may or may not would
Oh,
like to
do
know.
I have Song of Rest? I must have it. What? Yes. Vassal definitely play a tune and give Rue and Dalamar and Hugh an extra d6 of hit points.
Heck yeah.
Is
Do
that
I
temp
roll
HP?
that?
Uh,
Or
no, it's just an extra point of healing for the Song of Rest. Yeah, we'll let you roll it. Why not?
okay, so it's either that or everyone rolls because they're inspired differently from my song. Oh no, guys! You
Oh
get an
no!
additional 1 hit point.
Hey, but let's be real here. The only hit point that matters is the last one.
This is true.
I somehow didn't take any damage last time, and I wondered if my character sheet got reset by accident, but I have spells checked off, so I guess
They were just probably bad at hitting you.
me?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think you didn't. Like they came over by you and you disengaged and then we took them down and stuff like from range. So I think you were always on a periphery, and then they hit Dalamar and Hugh and Rue more than Vass.
Yeah.
It's your new cloak too.
Yeah, you did get a new cloak.
Yes.
They were blinded by its beauty. Um, yeah, so as you guys rest, Vass, of course, strumming along, playing a tune for everybody. Dalamar has his satchel nearby. He has papers and books out, and he's making all sorts of notes and checking equations and just working very quietly. It's a lot of what you had seen for those of you who watched him in the tower as he worked on the portal and all the ley lines. But it's a lot more condensed now since he's just working off of what he has.
I think Rue's gonna like not just rest, like just sit there. He's actually gonna fully pass out and fall asleep. Snore a little bit.
Yeah. He's 114. He deserves a nap. So you rest for at least an hour, maybe more. And it becomes middle of the day. And as you are getting ready to head back out onto the travels to find this place of power, why don't we get perception checks just to see if the way is clear?
Nice.
Yeah.
22.
Hell
Thank you.
yeah. So, as you are looking around, making sure that your path isn't directly going to be affected. You, Vass, would notice not terribly far in the grand scheme of things. So, like, definitely a very far distance currently, but when you look at the map and understand that each hex is about 2 miles or 6 miles, I can't remember for sure.
6.
6 miles, yeah. Yeah, that's right, because you could only travel 2, because you could only go about 12 miles a day. That's right. And so you got your blessing, and then now you're good. You're able to see that there is a group of dark clad figures in the distance. You're able to see them very clear against the wastelands here in the middle of the day. And it seems like a fairly large group. It could be Dragon Army. And while they're not here yet, if you don't move, they might see you.
What's the terrain like here? Is it open or?
It's a little open. There's some rocks and crags that you can that you could use and hide behind. But they're like hundreds of feet away. So it's because you got a 22 that you're able to spot them. They probably won't see you until they're a fair bit closer.
Can I tell what direction they're moving in? Like toward us, away from us, perpendicular?
Hard to say for sure. Likely it's going to either be towards you or perpendicular with the way that it seems that they're facing.
Okay. I'll point that out to my compatriots. Got some company.
I think we all can imagine how he would respond.
You like hold him back.
Yeah.
Uh,
Uh,
Dalamar will say, I am better at preserving my resources. Perhaps we skedaddle?
I don't know if I've heard of that spell before.
It's a word that is brought over from the Elvish. It means to get away quickly.
Oh, we call that boogie in the forest.
Cultural exchange.
I mean, it sounds like the best course of action. I'm all for squirrel daddling.
World daddling. I love it. Take an inspiration point, Rue.
that's exactly how Rue would think it is. Well, squirrels move fast and hide, so we're squirrel daddling.
They like always jump onto the tree and manage to like get themselves on the backside of the tree, and you go to look and they keep going around the
It's
tree and stuff.
always
Not that
on
I
the back.
chase squirrels.
Yeah. I never chased squirrels. So, we'll do it this way. If you want to move more carefully, you can do stealth checks. If you want to move more quickly, I'm going to say athletics.
I think even out in these wastes, I'm personally better at stealth than being athletic. I'm
I
small.
would rather be careful than be fast and potentially noisy.
All right, let's get some stealth checks then.
Ooh, 27.
Wow. Holy crap. Rue's like still amazed that in all of his like leather and armor, how stealthy Vass can be.
Oh man. That was the slowest turn of the die off of a 3 onto a 19. Um,
Yeah, I was sure it was going to be a natural one, and then it just kind of oop flipped over at the last second.
so you all managed to be quick and quiet as you move here, because you all did really well on your stealth rolls. Um, so you move along, and those dragon army figures, assuming that's exactly what they were wearing dark armor, so it's likely begin to fade until they are gone from sight. Now this
Which way did they end up going?
uh opposite to you because you just
Okay.
left. So you can't really tell. But this does put you a little bit off course of getting to your uh place of power. But you are safe from the dragon army. So, as you're traveling,
The safest way isn't always the most direct route. I think we did well.
sounds like you have some experience with traveling quite often.
I mean, mainly around my forests, but sometimes you have to go around a couple extra trees to get where you want to go and not be seen. Kind of like the squirrels.
If I remember correctly, you said that you came from Femcrest. Quite a distance you've traveled.
It is. Yeah, my elders told me come looking for rumors of lizard folk in robes, and I think we've managed to find them. I was also here for the funeral of an old friend. We all were. Can't remember if we told you that story or not when we met you.
Well, there's plenty of road now if you wish to share.
Yeah, I guess as we walk and talk, Rue would kind of tell his embellished version of Ispin's stories, how he saved him from falling out of a tree and stuff like that. Maybe true, maybe slightly, like I said, embellished.
When Ruse finished his story, Vass finds that this is the perfect opportunity to whip out the old classic, The Ballad of Vass and Ispin.
Hell yeah.
Go ahead, roll for me a performance check, please.
Oh my god, it's been so long since I've done a performance check. Do I have to announce before I roll if I'm using inspiration?
No, not really. I mean, typically rules is written, it's like, yeah, you do it and you roll with advantage, but I let you do a reroll if you want to burn your inspiration. And then you take the higher.
I'm pretty happy with that one.
Okay. So, uh, it's a great performance of your classic, and it's been a while since you've performed for anyone besides, you know, the audiences of your dreams. But you know, still feeling uh the sort of music from the short rest that you finished earlier. You pick up that momentum and pick up the sort of sensation of story from Rue as you've been sharing the road with Dalamar. And You can hear at towards the end of the ballad where Dalamar even starts to sort of hum along. It seems that you've done a very well job here. And as you are beginning to travel, or as you're not beginning to travel, you've been traveling, as you are beginning to reach sort of the end of your travelings, you are coming along the coastline here. And as you're moving along, you would notice that there's a fog here. And it's a little unnatural. It's sort of diluting the light of the day as the afternoon has kind of grown later. Slightly obscured here. What do you do?
Dalamar, I feel like if we're near the coast, we need to go a little more inland, a little more westward.
Just one thing that not a lot of people think of is you may want to hold some of your students with the short phase. Because
No,
that's
it's here somewhere. This cove. And
so the faster we get through that phase, the better we will. It stacks damage.
and he's looking around as if expecting something to come from the fog.
Is that a
He seems wary, ready almost.
like it's automatic?
I don't want to venture too far from the others. Kind of want to open my ears in a way and see if I can hear anything. Maybe close my eyes even.
Yeah, go ahead, roll a perception check.
Me, 12.
Hard to hear anything over the lapping of the waters here.
So it seems unnatural.
The fog doesn't seem, most of the time fog like this is seen early in the morning before the sun has had a time to evaporate everything. So it's probably not the most natural.
Could I do an Arcana check to see if I think it's been magically created?
Yeah.
That's a great big 11.
With an 11, it does seem to be of some arcane nature, but it's hard to say how it was created, if it was created through a spell or if it's an ongoing effect, some sort of side effect of other magic. Hard to say for sure. You just know that this is of a arcane base.
Now and here the end.
Vast, do you think you could float your way up higher and see if you can see anything outside of this?
I was actually thinking about doing that. I don't want to act as a giant beacon to pop up out of the fog and be like, look, everyone around here, I'm right here.
True.
But I mean, yeah, I
You
can
don't
try
have
that.
to if you don't want to. I don't want you to feel like you're in jeopardy, Bass.
I feel like you're saying this, but Hugh's like, don't worry about it, man.
Yeah.
If people come, they come.
Yeah.
We'll take
Hugh,
care of them.
He was over here polishing the S-Stock. It's fine.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, I was considering that, so I'll levitate up and then try and stop just as my head breaks through the fog. If it happens, like if I can even get to
Yeah.
the extent.
I will say that it's not a very large cloud. Like, you float your height off of the ground and you're out of it, so like you're not too far
Okay.
off the ground. It's not a and again, it's not like a huge dense fog. You're only lightly obscured, so like you can still kind of see things in the distance. But as you definitely get above that light obscure, and you're looking around, why don't you give me a perception check, please?
Alrighty. I think I'm gonna go ahead and use my inspiration.
Hell yeah.
I mean,
12.
Well, yeah, you see the coastline a little bit more clear up here, still kind of covered by the fog, but you can see the rest of the ocean with ease. You also spot about 80 or so feet down this coast where there's a cave.
Can I see how far the fog goes? I guess it ends if I can see it, the cave.
Yeah, you can kind of see the cave. The cave does have the fog nearby, like right in front of its mouth. It hard to say for sure if it continues past the cave, because that is getting like into a way distance. But it goes at least 80 feet.
Okay. He'll click his heels again and descend back down to the ground. And he'll be like, so it doesn't go very high, but it still goes forward quite a bit. But it looks like there's a cave not too far that way.
Maybe that's the place of power.
Sounds promising.
It's usually the caves. Caves with creepy fog, especially.
And what are we not going to do this time? Bass says, looking at Hugh. Fall in pit traps.
I'm sure Hugh is playing along jovially with the pit traps. But yeah, you guys are. How do you wish to approach the cave? Do you wish to do so stealthily?
I mean, Bass, you said it's not that far away, right?
No. No, I would say like maybe 80 feet.
We've been kind of quiet over here. I think I would prefer to sneak up on it.
My answer to that question is almost always going to be stealth.
Same. Rue like even like hunkers down, gets into like kind of a half crouch, like Spidey sense or Spidey Man style.
Okay. Go ahead. Roll for me stealth checks then. Ooh, hell yeah, that's.
Hold on. Okay. That's a terrible roll with advantage.
You can use your frog.
True. Oh, yeah, I guess it's a bardic, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say I already rolled with advantage. Oh, I'll save the frog. I usually keep the frog for perception checks on long rests. Usually, not always.
But it's self-deprecating.
Let's get Dalamar's roll as well. Dalamar did not roll as well this time. As you are getting closer to the cave, as you creep through the fog. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me. Okay, yeah. As you creep through the fog, keeping your body sort of low, moving slowly, and you don't have to really worry about stepping on branches too much here. You're on the shores, rock, sand. There's a little bit of a soft crunch, but it's hidden by the sound of the waves. You get close to the cave mouth, and one thing that you would quickly notice is that the fog seems to be emanating from the cave. And that. Let me just check on my DM privileges here. Both of you would hear the sort of sounds of something inside the cave, something large, and both of you have dark vision, yes? Yes.
Yep.
Which means you both are able to see this as well. You see one of those hulking undead monstrosities like you had seen in the Shadowfell here. Its back is to you, so it doesn't seem to see you right now. It does seem to sneak up well enough that you didn't draw its attention. You would notice that where the last one was very much more ursine-like, very bear-like, this one's more wolfish. It seems to stand on all fours, and it's digging its snout through something, but there are extra ribs that seem to act like spikes and spines, bones of different creatures. It's digging at something here.
But I assume we can't tell what because it's probably obstructing our view.
It is obstructing your view.
Vass sees this and, in a barely audible whisper, swears in Infernal.
I think even if you can't understand Infernal, you probably understand the
Oh,
vibe that
it's-
Vass is going for here.
It's a universal tone.
You've
Especially
heard
because
him
it's not
swear
the
enough.
first time.
You've heard him swear in Infernal enough that you get the idea.
We hear it like every morning before Vass has his coffee and gets woken up by one of us.
I feel like Vass almost speaks primarily in Infernal, so he can just be insulting to anyone he deems it needs before coffee. But
He has a T-shirt that says "I only speak Infernal before I have my coffee."
But
He absolutely has a T-shirt that says that.
I love it. Dalamar kind of looking in as well. That doesn't look like it's going to be particularly willing to communicate.
No.
We saw one of these in the area through the portal in Wakenrath. I'm surprised to see one out here.
Try and formulate some way to divert its attention, or do we wish to try and engage and fight?
Last time we fought one, it didn't go terribly well. It's probably better to divert its attention, as much as I can see Hugh's fingers twitching on the hilt of his S-stock.
Yeah, Vass reaches out a hand as if he's just, standing next to his bud. But he's actually just very imperceptibly like starting to hold on to the back of Hugh's collar.
It's amazing how well your characters as well as players know each other after 34 sessions. It's great. So yeah, you guys are well, trying to keep Hugh reined in. Dalamar will sort of try and step back, so he's going to make another stealth check here. I don't know what Lachlan's doing over there. As Dalamar steps back, he does look like he's waving you to join him. And he moves about a good 30 feet away from the mouth of the cave, which puts you about maybe 50 or so feet in a corner of hard rock between you and whatever this creature that you saw was the undead beast. So a little bit more able to talk, still having to keep a little quiet. Any sort of shouts might draw his attention, but stealth checks to join Dalamar over there.
Man, with advantage again.
Oh, okay. Your group did fairly well. Again, you do have the sound of the waves here to help cover any sort of missteps. Though you do hear some of the rocks from Rue kind of tumble down. And hold your breath waiting. Nothing comes out of the cave. So, you have experience with this creature before, or something of its kind. Perhaps there's something that we can utilize to... What do you think would be best to draw its attention away?
The last one was very violent.
Yeah, like
As soon
wrapped
as it's
its ribs around Vass and consumed him.
Yeah, I blacked out in the middle of that. I don't know what happened. When I woke up, I was all wet.
Sounds like you avoided being digested.
Barely. No pun intended.
No.
That is totally unintentional, actually.
Yeah, I feel like we only took care of the last one just by, like, the grace of Lunatari. Smiting him down. Don't know if I really want to smite another one down, unless it comes to that. I mean, I could I could theoretically mount up and distract it to try and get it to chase me, but that just delays an encounter with it most likely and doesn't get rid of the problem completely.
Well, I don't want to fight this thing, but at the same time, if we distract it and it leaves and we go inside, I don't want to be trapped inside the cave and have it start coming back in. And we have no way to get out either. So,
For some reason, I doubt that this is its lair so much that it, well, I guess it could be its lair and it brought this quarry back to the lair. Or it could have just been coming through and found this cave.
something seems to have caught its interest.
If you think that you might be able to draw it away from the cave, distract it, Vass, yourself, and I can head in, see whatever it was sniffing at, see if that's what we were looking for, and if it is, we only need a glance. I may be able to send it back. You said your last one you encountered was in the Shadowfell, yes? I have a ritual that I can cast. It does take some time, so Rue, you'll have to distract it quite a bit. But I might be able to send it back.
How much time do you need?
About 10 minutes.
I could probably do that for you.
Okay.
Does that mean I have to have it chase me in circles for 10 minutes?
Sounds about right.
This could be fun. Rue's eyes start like twinkling mischievously.
Vass will quietly hum the little lullaby and give Rue a bardic inspiration.
So I was like, maybe it's time for the frog.
2 frogs? So believe.
It's a d6.
Yeah. I think the frog is the frog is. I always ask this: is the frog a 6 or is the frog a 4?
Frog's a 6. It's whatever the current level of the Bardic Inspiration is.
Oh,
Yeah,
does
does-
it scale up? I thought
Um,
it stayed at
I-
whatever it was when I made it.
I'll let it scale up. I'll be nice.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Does the frog stack with bardic then? Like, could I have both of them?
No, they are still both Bardic Inspirations. The frog just allows you to store Bardic Inspiration for a later use.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I can distract it whenever you're ready. I don't know if you have other preparations you need to make, Dalamar, for your ritual.
Well, I want to see that whatever it was digging at was uh, what we would like, and then I can banish it. If not, I can do the ritual on you to get you out of danger until that thing runs off, comes back to its cave, and then you'll come back because you're of this place. But if it is not, it's gone.
I can protect you while you cast the ritual.
I'd be grateful and appreciated.
Sounds like we have a plan. You've not met Fernelope yet, have you?
I don't believe I have.
think with that, Rue will mutter some words, make a flourishing gesture with his hand, and cast Phantom Steed. And you would see like a phantom frog-like creature appear. And that is Rue's mount, Fernelope. She might not look like much, but she can still move. So for the next hour, I have a steed that has 100-foot movement speed as a base speed.
Alrighty.
So I'm hoping that 100 feet of movement is enough to like outrun this creature, and it doesn't have some ridiculously high speeds.
One way to find out.
We're gonna find out. Yeah, Rue's confident in Fernelope's skills.
So, Rue, now that you have Frenelope at your side, your trusty mount, what do you do?
Um, I guess first you said we're about 50 feet from the mouth of the cave?
You're 30 feet from the mouth of the cave, but that puts you about mechanically 50 feet from the creature. Like, you'd need to go 30 feet to the cave and then 20 feet in, and that gets you.
All right. Yeah, on the back of Fernelope. You know what? We're gonna make it a little bit upset. Rue's gonna look into the cave, kind of say, "Hey, you," and kind of loudly, maybe not completely shouting, "What you got there?" And he's actually gonna cast a sacred flame on this thing to light it up a little bit with a little red lunar light from Lunatari.
Ooh, okay. So that's a dex save from the creature.
It's a DC 14 dex save, yeah.
That's a failure with a 3.
All right. That's almost max. No, not max damage. That's 11 radiant damage. So he's lit up.
Yeah, so as he's lit up with that 11 radiant, you hear the snarl as it turns its face towards you. There's a growl, and much like you had wanted, it's charging at you. But since we're not in a initiative right now, I'm going to say that you're easily able to start turning and lead this creature however you wish to.
Yeah, I would think I would be using enough of my 100 feet of movement every turn to stay ahead of it. I mean, if I wanted to be like real dirty, I could be probably casting Sacred Flame on it or other spells every round.
I mean, if you want to, we can do this turn by turn and have
Yeah,
it.
I kind of really just wanted to grab its attention and then just kind of go and not focus so much on killing it. It's just keeping its interest, right?
Yeah. As the creature runs out, you can hear the sort of bone against bone grinding as it hits the rocky shore and follows after Rue, who's Frenelope, for the size of the creature that she is, being a frog of this magnitude, is very fast. And Dalamar looks over to Vass. Think that's our cue. And Dalamar begins to run quickly towards the cave.
Vass keeps pace with Dalamar.
And with everyone running, this is a perfect time for our first ad. So, stick around with us. We'll be right back to continue our story. But before we head out, I do ask that you let the ads run. They're very important to us here at Will Witch RP. They help keep our games affordable. If you want to directly support us, you can always make a donation to my Ko-fi. Link for that is on screen. Ko-fi donations not just support us at Will Witch RP, they also unlock awesome perks for the entire community, benefiting everyone who plays with us for the next month. These perks include special companions, double treasure, double XP, and new quests. So, stick around. We'll be right back. And we are back. As we are returning, you guys, you're running, all of you, for different reasons, but all for the same cause. So, Rue, you are on the back of Penelope, running around, sending this strange undead creature on a chase, and it is huge. It's bigger than you and Penelope combined, and it's probably wanting to eat you.
That's the goal.
Yep,
Keeping it interested.
yep. Meanwhile, Vass and Dalamar, the two of you side by side, are running into the cave through the fog. When you enter in, it is dark here. You two are relying on your dark vision to see what is here. So, go ahead, give me a quick perception or investigation check. Oh no!
So, Dalamar, you're carrying the team here, bud.
Ooh, nat 1.
Let's have Dalamar roll. Dalamar gets a +3 to an investigation.
Samesies.
He's not doing much better. That is an 8 from Dalamar. So, the two of you are working through trying to find whatever's in this cave, but everything's a similar shade of gray in the darkness here. Hard to make out anything for sure, especially with the fog kind of obscuring a lot of things, as this is the center. So we're gonna ask Rue, what are you doing to keep the attention of this creature?
I feel like casting another spell on it would be kind of, I don't know, too easy. How far away? I'd say that probably took a couple rounds, huh? So I've probably left some distance. I would like to cast Mage Hand at some point and have that along with me and use it to like maybe pick up a nice gnome fist-sized rock and like turn around and throw the rock at it to make sure that I'm still getting its attention.
Yeah, go ahead, roll for me. This will be a improvised weapon, so 1d20 plus your dexterity.
I would assume it might be like a longer ranged attack, huh?
Yeah, we'll make this disadvantage.
Okay. So let's do dose d20s. Ooh, that's a 2. Yeah, that's an 8. Oh, sorry. No. That's a 2 plus my dexterity would be a 4.
Alrighty, then this would be, 4 does not hit. It goes. I was trying to think of like what's going to happen here. It just goes like right over the head and sailing over the back. Like this is like way overshooting where the creature is because you were aiming for where it was, not for where it was going to be.
Wait, if I were to try and use minor illusion, I don't think minor illusion can create illusions of like people, huh? It's images or objects, or sounds or objects. I'm trying to imagine, I'm not the most creative person. I'm trying to imagine like what type of illusion would keep this thing interested that can be cast with a minor illusion. I didn't get a good look at what it was like going after on the inside of that cave, huh? Because it was too deep
Right.
and too dark.
Right.
Did the creature in the Shadowfell make any sort of like roaring noises or anything when we fought it?
It made some of the same noises that you're hearing from this creature.
Maybe also while I'm riding around on the back of Fernelope, I'll like use minor illusion to create some of those noises around it to potentially even like confuse it a little bit. Or embolden it, I don't know.
All right. Go ahead, roll for me. Roll for me. I'm going to say persuasion, and then you can add whatever bonus you have to your arcana if it is positive.
Persuasion's a +3, Arcana's a +0.
Okay, so it'll just be the +3.
And you know what? I'm gonna use my Bardic on that just to be extra persuasive.
Hell yeah.
I was already a 14 +2, 16.
16. So as you are running around and you create the sound of Vash, you hear the roar of one of these off in the distance, and you're like, oh, I hope it's not trying to eat Rue.
I look over at Dalamar and I whisper, "We gotta hurry up."
Then let's look. So as Rue's doing that outside, let's get another perception or investigation check from inside.
Well, I got Dalamar's roll this time.
Maybe he's gonna get higher. No! He got your roll!
Oh no!
Twinsies.
The ultimate twinsies.
Oh god. If you add those together, it's still a terrible roll.
So unfortunately, the panic of the situation and the time crunch, not doing well for the guys inside the cave. Everything's still, again, that same similar shade. All the fog's here. It's hard to make anything out. Dalamar is just, screw it, and going to risk catching the attention of the creature here, as he's going to cast light. And so you see a bracelet begin to alight on his hand as he starts scanning his hand over the area, and I'll give you guys advantage on your next checks because of the light. But going back out to Rue for a little bit, Rue, your passive perception is 13?
14.
14. Then yeah, you definitely see the light that's shining out of the cave here as it reflects off the fog. You might have to do something to try and catch the attention of the creature just so it doesn't catch the light as well.
Is dismounting an action?
No, it's half movement.
It's half movement?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I'm like half tempted to like dismount so that it really thinks that it's got me, and then potentially, I assume I can Misty Step back onto the back of the
As long
Penelope.
as long as you can see it, Mystic Step is a thing that you need to be able to see where you're going.
So let's see. Because maybe I'll try and lead it. It seems like they're taking longer than they hope to inside that cave, so I could probably still try and lead the thing away a little bit. I'm gonna dismount.
Okay.
I guess that's half movement,
That's
which
half.
means I could probably only walk like an extra 12 feet. Walk like 10 feet closer to it, assuming I'm not in range.
Oh, yeah.
Taunt, taunt it a little bit, and then cast a Mind Sliver on it.
Oh, shit.
Just to get inside its head a little bit, assuming it has any sort of brain. It's a DC 14 int save.
14 int save from this thing. It's not good at intelligence. It's like really bad at intelligence. That's an 11.
Okay. Then that's another 8 psychic damage, and I think it takes 1d4 off of its next saving throw if we chose to do that next turn.
Yeah.
And then for my bonus action, I'm gonna use Misty Step to teleport back to the back of Fernelope. Maybe even like facing it like backwards, so she's facing forward and I'm facing backwards.
Ooh. Some stunt riding here. I love
That's
it.
right.
So as you port back onto the back of Penelope, ready to do whatever you need to come next turn, should this still be going on. We come back inside the cave. Vass and Dalamar have advantage on your checks to see what was it digging at. Investigation or perception.
Yeah, funny. Good thing to do research.
13.
Dalamar gets a 13.
I think I'm gonna beat on you.
Dalamar gets an 11. But a 13 is enough. The area in the cave is mostly this stone-like pebble kind of area, so you can see the grooves that were being dug in. There is this. The reason why it was really hard to see is this is a black shard. It's semi-rounded, and it almost reminds you of glass. But it seems to be the source of the fog, which definitely means that's magical. And as you point this out, Dalamari's, alright, don't touch it yet. Let's get rid of that thing, and then we'll be fine.
Vass was halfway towards picking it up when he and then stops.
So Dalamar is going to head to the front of the cave, still armband with the light as he's pulling out one of his many books, and you can see all sorts of like different runes and rituals that are inscribed upon its pages as he's looking to find the right one and start that process. So as we move on to this next portion of the area, we're going to make this a little simple here. I want for Vass to roll either a perception or insight check to stand guard, ready in case anything happens for Dalamar.
Insight it is, and that's a 25.
Hell yeah. So you're just honed in on your instincts here. You've got hands ready with the blades in case something comes forward, and just waiting. Rue, go ahead, roll for me either performance, persuasion, or intimidation, your choice, to keep the attention of the creature for the 10 minutes.
I guess they're all charisma, so I'm equally. I kind of want to do performance, but performance is also kind of Vass's thing. But maybe I'll be like, I'm starting to learn some performance tricks from Vass. I've seen him up on that stage doing his show. Like, I could be like him. And with a nat 20, I hope that I am kind of like him.
Hell yeah. My hair is ungovernable. you are able to easily capture the attention. And go ahead. Why don't you describe to me what your 23 performance check looks like as you are enticing this creature to stay focused on you and Fernelope?
Well, I mean, we started off with Rue being like facing backwards, and so now he's just starting to show off a little bit. So he's like actually like standing up on the saddle and everything, like almost like even like frog surfing in a way, like just taunting this thing from the back of the frog. And even when it hops, like I guess he's able to use his balance to stay on the back of the frog within his own. Maybe he has a low center of gravity. Maybe that keeps him, even though he's the tallest in this tribe, maybe staying low to the saddle still kind of helps out so he doesn't fall over. Um, but yeah, I think just general taunts toward it. I imagine he looks like a tasty morsel, and that, like you said, both of them can fit inside of its belly, and so it's probably pretty intrigued by the fact that it's like two snacks in one that it could take.
Heck yeah. Um, you are in the middle of riding around and just trying to keep this thing focused on you when all of a sudden both Rue and Vass, you watch as this thing vanishes. Now, Vass, you've had an idea of what was happening more intrinsically than Rue. Rue, you only knew this was the plan. But Vass, you've been next to Dalamar while he's been making this ritual, following the circle. He's been speaking these arcane words over a matter of 10 minutes. And then the creature is gone. You all can breathe easily now that a threat has been removed.
Rue would walk up to Dalamar and be like, "That's a fancy trick you got there. What do you call that?"
Banishment.
Seems useful.
It's powerful magic, and while doing it as a ritual helps conserve some of it, it's still a bit straining on my resources.
Like just around the outside edge of this.
And it's not going to come
Yeah,
back.
yeah. And then that gives a lot of
As long as we give it about a minute, we'll see if it was of this plane or somewhere else, but I'm going off of the fact that you said that you battled this or something like it in the Shadowfell, that it doesn't come from here originally.
Rue draws his
Are you
dagger,
thinking that this is not enough
at least
range
for the
to
remaining
go towards
20 or
you?
30 seconds until that
20
minute's
to 30
passed. Or
feet?
maybe it already has. I don't know.
You wait a few more moments just to make sure a minute's gone by. Everyone, it seems, has a different count of a minute these days.
Yeah, all the sand will be cleaned out. And the only
But it
reason
Kind of
stays
motions
clear.
like, Fernelope, get over here,
like,
behind
that's
us.
no reason to get the center of
You just hear like the
it.
croak.
Do fighting.
And it's like a really deep one too.
Think she's tired.
But nothing comes back after a minute, 2 minutes. I'm not even sure at this point. But definitely long enough to know that if it was going to be coming back, it would be back by now.
And now that it's gone, is the fog still here?
Fog is still here, but Vax, now that the threat's gone, you do know where the fog comes from. It was that piece of glass you had seen in before.
I think Rue doesn't know that. He would say, I guess that the creature wasn't causing the fog then.
Yeah, you want to face
No, Vash found a shard in the cave. We can go back and find it. It's easier now that you A, know where it is, and B, you still have Dalamar's light. Um, but yeah, you all see this rounded black sphere of glass, easily able to fit into a palm.
And it's in the area where there was the claw marks.
Right, it looks like it was being dug up by the creature.
Oh, okay. Does it look like it was damaged at all?
No, doesn't seem damaged.
Dalamar, do you know what this is?
As he's looking at the glass, he shakes his head. No.
It makes me think of New Atari. Dark and evil.
I don't think that it's evil. I do think that it's useful. And this is powerful things that we're talking about here.
Is this cave about where we expected to find the place of power?
This is about the place based on what Dalamar's calculations were.
Can I try another Arcana check?
Yeah, go ahead, roll an Arcana check.
Perfectly average.
And, I mean, besides the fog, you're unsure of what it could be, what sort of power it could hold.
I mean, based off that orange stone we saw turning people into whatever those creatures were, slooties. I don't know that I want to touch this one.
Vass had a really strong vibe about that orange crystal. Is he getting anything remotely similar from this black sphere?
No.
How did you choose to do
I think Rue would like to consult with Lunatari on this and spend a minute rolling the bones, the Dragonelle's bones, and casting augury, saying that his plan to see if the plan of picking up the sphere and handling it is a good idea or not.
So, as you roll the bones, as you consult your deity to see if picking up the stone and handling it is good, you get wheel. There does not seem to be any ill effects that will be here. In fact, seem to have perhaps good ones in store.
Value 2, Lunatari tells me that there's nothing, maybe that's not the right word, but nothing to fear from handling the stone. if one of us wants to do it. I'm still like a little cautious.
I mean, it is Vass's favorite color.
Dalamar does have a sort of desire in his eyes.
Can I make a vibe check on Dalamar?
Yeah, go ahead. Roll an insight check.
Yeah, I would like to do the same.
Oh god, my rolls have taken
Twins.
a turn.
Twinsies. Dalamar is a mage that you know to be driven by discovery. He wants to learn knowledge. He told you as much when you had first met. It's likely what's going on here. That desire in his eyes, it's a thirst for knowledge. This is something very powerful, based on the way that it disrupted his readings. He wants to study it.
I mean, with all your books and tomes and scratching that you do on your papers, it seems like you would probably know better than anyone what this sphere might be capable of, Dalamar.
It's only a shard. With the rounded edge, it may have once belonged to some sort of sphere. I would like to study it further, see what it can do. Especially if it is only a part of what was once whole.
How long do you need to study this thing?
I could not give you an estimate.
Does the cave keep going?
Just for a little bit more. It's not like it's, entirely, like, deep. I'd say it goes for about maybe another 15 feet more.
Is there anything else cool in here?
Would you like to roll an investigation check?
Why not? I'm so good at those.
You just smash the face.
Oh yeah, now I can roll.
Uh,
But not when Rue is in imminent danger.
Look how it's
so... Not so much like the fog creating glass, though you would find a fully intact crab shell that is empty up here.
I pointed out to Rue because I figured he'd find that interesting.
It's like they took the crab out of the shell. That's weird. I'm like imagining someone like vortex warping the guts of the crab outside of the shell.
Liquefying it and just pouring it out the eye sockets.
I mean, that's maybe the more aggressive approach, yes. You want that shell, Vass?
No, I used to see these all the time when I was growing up on the coast.
Who's gonna take it and stuff it in his pouch?
I just want to do, every so often, like, have you roll, like, a D100 to see if it, like, breaks.
I mean, I can. You want me to?
No. It'll be, like, every so often.
Oh.
Yeah. 'Cause it's a hollow crab shell. Like, those things are
They're very
delicate.
fragile.
Yeah.
I'll be sure not to put it in the pouch with the gemstones then.
That would not be a good idea unless you wanted crab shell powder.
It's going in the backpack.
Ooh, that could be a really cool component for like a coastal druid.
Yeah, can I put it in my component pouch then?
Yeah, why not? Just a full ass crab shell. Uh,
Who
uh,
needs to multi-class now?
right. Um,
Crab shell.
as you guys are interacting with the crab shell, Dalamar is going to pick up that glass. And as soon as Dalamar picks it up, the fog stops and begins to dissipate.
Huh.
And,
Well,
oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, well, if we take it with us, we are not going to be constantly emitting fog, letting everyone know where we are. So that's a plus.
Yes. And he seems a bit distracted as he looks at it.
Rue's like thinking that Vass could have used that as like a fog machine for his live shows in some ways. So it's kind of unfortunate that the fog
Yeah.
stopped.
Yeah, it's his favorite color. It's essentially a fog machine. Vass could find uses for that for sure.
Um, as Dalamar is looking at this, and again, there's like a distraction, a sort of contemplation on his face. Perhaps we, it's getting quite late in the day. Perhaps we are set to rest.
Yeah. I mean, do you think this cave would be safe for us?
Well, it is empty of any sort of threats, and provides a ample enough depth to prepare any sort of fighting should something approach.
Could always dig a pit trap at the entrance with what light we have left.
I can always conjure light as well.
Don't know if we really need light except for maybe Hugh over there.
Would you like to make a pit trap, though?
Kind of.
I'll say if you make a pit trap, you don't have to do watches this evening.
I mean, Hugh got a real good look at the other one, so I feel like he could replicate it pretty good.
I'll give you. I won't give you advantage if Hugh helps you, but I'll give you a +2 bonus.
Yeah, I could imagine Rue even being like, Hugh, dig us a pit trap. Just like he's like, Hugh, open that door, and Hugh, open that crate.
So, Rue, if you would like to roll a survival check, I'll give you a +2 for having Hugh's assistance.
All right. Yeah, that's a dat 1, so I got a 7.
I did give you an inspiration earlier. If you
I
want
know, you know what? Let's use it. Why not?
Why not?
YOLO.
If you don't
That's
use
a
the
nat 5.
inspirations, you don't have room for when I give you more.
That's right, exactly. That's a 11.
An 11. It's definitely not as pretty as the pit trap that Hugh fell for. But hopefully the people that you are going against don't have dark vision and fall into it in the night. Because this is, in a dark cave at the mouth of it, and you are planning for a nighttime resting. So it could work if they have bad vision. But it does seem to be sturdy enough, like it won't break if anything falls on it, like the actual trap itself. And you can put perhaps like things down there that might make noise if something falls on it to wake you up.
Are there any more empty crab shells that I could throw in there? Maybe like cracklins.
Maybe not crab shells, but definitely other shells that have like hollow areas that you can put down there.
It's like a craft project. I love it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Hugh is doing the manual labor of digging the hole while Rue is doing an art project.
He's
And
searching for
Dalamar is
seashells.
distracted.
Yeah. Rue comes up to Hugh and it's like, yeah, let's do this. And then instead of helping Hugh, like, dig out the actual pit trap, Rue's just finding these seashells along the shore.
And Dalamar is distracted, and Vass is really bored.
So, amazing. As the pit trap is finished, seashells scattered about, you all are able to rest in the cave. And as you take your rest, a fire can be built. It is deep enough inside the cave that it won't be seen from outside. And the cave ceiling's high enough that you won't be, like, inundated with smoke. And what do you do this evening as you kind of rest? Any conversations? Any reflections on your journeyings? Any thoughts of what the future might hold?
I wonder if this city of lost names will have more answers. Rue's kind of just wondering out loud. I feel like we've spent a lot of time up here. Looked around a lot of places, seen a lot of things. Still no concrete sign of motivation from the Dragon Army. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe we're still a little bit ahead of them.
Vass nods. He's sitting with his back against the wall, and he realized after he played earlier in the day that he's missed playing. So I think he's kind of just messing around with the loot and just kind of staring off into the distance and letting his mind wander.
You know, Vass, this cave has some nice sound properties. Kind of makes your music reverberate. Maybe you should play us another song.
Yeah, the acoustics aren't too bad in here. What one would he play? Well, what's the mood in here right now? Because he could do the Battle of Vogler, but that's kind of a downer.
It's a very sort of neutral mood right now. You kind of had Rue with that wandering aloud. Dalamar's been fairly quiet. You know, pencil out, taking notes. He interacts if he's interacted with. He's not, like, ignoring anybody. But kind of keeping to his own. And Hugh is probably dreaming about a fight.
Yeah, I think when Rue is kind of musing out loud, I think it would cause Vass's thoughts to go towards Vogler, because that's kind of where it all started and how they set off on their journey. So I think he'd probably play the Battle of Vogler.
Go ahead, roll me another performance check.
Okay. I think that's what I got last time.
Yep.
26. 26 is very good. And as you... I'm gonna throw something at Lachlan. He keeps bringing he keeps bringing the wrong vibes. Um, uh, as you play the Battle of Hogler, the uh, it's not his birthday. Uh, and it does become a bit more solemn in the cave as night begins to settle in full. But your performance is strong, and it, solemn as it is, fills the cave with life almost. It is a reminder of the dark moments. But without the dark, you could not know the light. As the performance comes down, eyes are on you, Vash. Not many. But you've been seen, and your song heard. Are there any further moments that you wish to see this evening? Or do you go to your rest?
I don't have anything else specific.
Even though it won't matter, theoretically, Rue's gonna use the frog to play its, like, nighttime lullaby before he goes to bed. Helps him sleep.
As you lay down to rest, and as sleep comes over you, Vax, in your dreams, you find yourself in a familiar place. Your home. It is a summer day in Neverwinter. The windows have all been opened up to allow for the breeze to come in. You can smell the salt water on the breeze. It's a comfort that you have missed. You hear footsteps approaching. And as you turn, you see him. He is there. And he's looking a little frazzled, as if he's been looking for you. Vast, there you are.
Don't release. Not release.
As he approaches, it's just like the last time you saw him. It's unchanged. Father's been asking after you, and you're just... Come on, before you get into any trouble.
Vass seems a little confused, but is he somewhat lucid dreaming?
I'll say that you can act in your dream here, yes.
I'm just thinking that he's surprised to see Key and also is just feeling a little confused.
As you are As you kind of follow after Key, a little dazed in this dream, you can tell that this is a dream just by the way that the flow of the house is. You seem to cover more space in less time, and you're standing uh, in the family room with your father. And as Ignatius kind of turns to look at you,
Prioritize.
the features of his face become vague, almost blurry, almost like you're forgetting the details. But you can hear his voice. It's time we talk about the future of our family. And the future that you two have in its standings. And you can almost hear this sort of lecture, but it gets lost in the dream as you continue playing through. And like the dreams often do, you find yourself slipping from one scene seamlessly into a next one, even though there's no real connection. And you are you seem to be alone now. Walking, pacing. You still seem to be in Neverwinter. What's going through your mind, Vass?
Just, if there's a part of him that realizes he is dreaming, he's it hurts. It felt nice to see them, but it also hurts because it's been so long, and he feels a bit distraught that he's starting to forget, the features that, should have been so clear in his mind. And he's trying to hold on to whatever features he did see to try and keep them from slipping through his grasp. And he's thinking a little bit, about the conversation with his father, regarding the future of the family and stuff like that. But the part of him that knows it's a dream is just too caught up in the fact that he's home and seeing these people that he hasn't seen in a long time.
As your thoughts kind of carry you, Vass, you feel a hand grab yours. And as you turn to see who it is, before you see anything, your dream ends. Rue, as we come to you, your dream is red. You are once again in that red temple with the waters rippling silently around you. The columns that reach up into a star-filled sky. The pillars and the red fabrics that float ethereal on the wind, glowing with their own red light. You're looking around and you're not seeing anyone else here. But it is comfortable, the areas that you do see. There's almost a throne, but it is plush. They are pillows and padded cushions that create these comfortable seating areas. Areas to lounge. You could imagine many people spending time here, but again, it seems that you are alone. And then you hear a voice. Same feminine voice you heard the last time you were here, Rue.
It's up
You
to
are
explain some.
progressing, Rhubarb.
I assume through your guidance.
I do not guide. I watch. I assist when it is called upon me. But this is your effort.
Well, the assistance has been most helpful so far. I think it saved myself, my friends, others. But sometimes I worry it's still not enough. It's not on you, it just seems that the darker forces seem strong. They seem motivated.
You are correct. The forces waylaid against you are strong. But there is strength within you. There is strength within your companions. Your progression is no accident, Rhubarb.
I will continue to watch and learn. Do my best. I still feel like there's a lot of people that need help. Rue's like still always in the back of his mind, like worried about Kalaman, Sandchrist.
Rest easily, Rhubarb. Your allies of a greater force travel closer to than you know. And with a soothing voice and a soothing message, Rue, that is the last you can recall of your dream. And by the time that you awake in the morning is the time that we go to our next ad break. So, stick tight here. We will be right back to continue along with our story, but before we head out, I do want to ask that you let the ads run. They're very important to us here at WRP. They help keep our games affordable, but if you want to directly support us, you can always make a donation to Ko-fi. Link for that's on screen. They help us out really much as well, and also help the entire community unlock awesome perks. We do have all of the perks unlocked for next month of November, but you can always support more. Full list of perks available on our Discord. Check us out there. Stick tight. We'll be right back.
The functionality is if you're dead,
It's morning when we return. You have completed a long rest. And when you awake,
What did you take, David?
Dalamar is gone. And in his place, a letter.
What?
This is not the type of news that you want Vass to be receiving when there's no coffee around.
Rue isn't really good at reading. Hugh, read this for me.
I love that you just became Rue's personal assistant.
I think Hugh has read something for me before, to be fair. It's like in one of the crypts or whatever, he read the note on the guy by the orange crystal. I think he had like a letter or something on him.
Yeah, I think we've confirmed that Rue can only read like the base amount of common, like anything that would be on like trader posts and signs.
Maybe menus or
Yeah. But yeah, no. Hugh is able to read the letter from Dalamar, and it begins. I'm sorry for the deception. I was aware of what the shard was the moment that I laid eyes on it. It is an important artifact, one from my people. It is a destroyed orb of dragonkind.
Can you point her below, like to the outside?
I'm unsure if my journey will carry me back all the way to the Sylvan Esti encampment. If I will
Circle, David.
assist my brethren, or if my path will divert, and I will study this artifact on my own to unlock its powers. I assure you right now it is no threat or evil.
What you want to do is make it run into a time
It's
trap.
only a part of a whole. It is almost worthless. But there is potential. I thank you for your efforts. And I wish you well on your journey to the city of lost names. If our paths cross again, know that, at least from myself towards you, there is no ill feelings. I hope the same from you towards myself. And then it is signed Dalamar.
Well, then he's going to be awful disappointed. He didn't even try to talk to us about it first. He just left without saying anything.
Yeah? It's almost like he's got
Yeah.
a character.
Like, Bass is so irritated. Already in like a iffy mental state after that heartbreaking dream, and then there's no coffee, and he's tired, and he slept on a hard cave floor, and then he wakes up and the thing is gone, and Dalamar is gone, and he didn't talk to us first. Vass is just so mad he can barely speak coherent sentences.
lots of infernal.
Yes.
Infernal even we haven't heard before. This is like a new level of infernal.
Yeah.
Well, that's unfortunate. I mean, I guess all we have now is his word, and we won't be able to find him.
I mean, you know him fairly well. Magic could probably find him.
So you're saying I have to take scrying at level 7?
I'm saying scrying could work, sending could work. You could find someone to help you out.
locate creature is a thing, right?
Yeah, that's a thing. And I think bards have access to that spell.
Mm-mm.
We're gonna need
Major
some
side
library
quest. We just
defense.
end up chasing Dalamar and don't ever go back to the main story.
Plot twist.
I mean, if you want to take that side quest, I can write it.
I don't think that that will happen. But who knows?
Oh, I'm an idiot.
Maybe after you save the world, right?
Vass does need to cool off though, so he's gonna leave the cave and take a quick walk outside. Get
Best
some
watch out
fresh
for the
air.
pit.
You know where the pit is.
Yeah, am I so mad that I forget?
That's kind of what Rue's mental state was.
roll me a d100, please.
Oh God. Oh no.
Just the item.
You are not quite so mad enough that you forget the pit, but it's like the moment that you are stepping over the pit is when Rue has called out, so it's almost like that unnecessary warning. I don't know if that would set Vass off a little bit more. But
Vass probably didn't even notice
Yeah.
that Rue he noticed Rue said something. He didn't notice that he was talking to Vass.
yeah. So Vass, you exit out, and there is a small layer of fog, but this is a normal fog. It's not hardly as dense as it was yesterday. It's already starting to burn away in the morning. And you see the water of the ocean kind of lapping up on the shore. There's a bit of a cool breeze here.
Yeah, after he walks a short distance away, I think Vass would stand there looking out at the water and just try really hard to listen to the sound of the waves until the rage dissipates.
Easily done. Easily done. Rue, what are you doing in the time that Vass is calming himself down?
Um, is Vass not wearing the Fargab right now?
I would say Vass is not wearing the Fargap right now.
Mm.
Oh, I feel like Lunatari or whoever it was told me that maybe our compatriots were nearby, and so Rue's got like this inkling, and he wants to take the Fargab and kind of drag it or carry it outside of the cave and figure out if he can switch it on and
It's
see.
an always on as it's assembled type deal.
He's gonna like push the transmit button and say, hello, hello, is anybody there?
The first attempt that you call out, all you get in return is this crackle.
He'll like old man style be like, I'm not sure if I'm using this right. I'm pushing the button. I think I'm talking into this the right way. If anyone's there, could you hear me?
Just a more kind of crackle sound that comes through.
Or just kind of grunts
That's true.
or the shot.
What do you mean this is true? It's a that's right. That's true. Oh,
Even though he doesn't need it or thinks he doesn't need it, Rue's gonna pull out the map and kind of look and see how far in the direction, start studying their way toward where Dalamar had pointed out that the City of Lost Names was, which I think was over by like Giant Spine or something like that.
It's over near Giant Spine. You are kind of near cliffs that drink. do recall that you gave the location of Wakenreth to the army. If you want to try and meet up with them, they would be heading in that direction. Um,
How many squares? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, wow. We're like 7 or 8 hexes away from Wakenreth. A couple days.
You're also about the same distance from the city.
Yeah, that's good insight for planning on what we're gonna do next with Hugh and Vass. Cooling down over there, Vass?
Vass like just grunts, a typical male response. Like, I'm fine, but I don't want to talk about it, is what's conveyed in the grunt.
Rue was gonna say something snarky, but decides against it because Vass seems like he's a little extra on edge this morning. Drag the Fargab back into the cave with the rest of our belongings. We probably shouldn't hang around here too long. We need to get moving somewhere. Rue would maybe relay a little bit of the gist of his dream to Hugh. That he feels like the larger army is closer to us, but that he couldn't raise them on the Fargab. And if Vass ever comes back in from his temper tantrum, then he would tell Vass the same thing.
They're close, but outside our gab range.
I mean, I think you might have told them where Wakenreth was, right?
Yes.
So that might be where they're going.
We spoke to them before Dalamar did his calculations to figure out where we were going,
Right.
right? Or yeah, so we wouldn't have known the other two locations. So I guess, yeah, Vass would have described where Wakenreth is.
So we have the tracks.
So we can either go back and find them there,
You know, the cool thing is, like,
or
there's
just
cities up there that,
continuing on toward the city.
here's the thing. Squares. No, it's not squares.
I mean, from here, they're both about the same. Obviously, Wakenreth would be a little bit of a backtrack,
Should I?
but if the city ends up being overrun with
Heal myself?
Dragon Army, there's not much that the three of us could probably do on our own without our army.
No. But I mean, we did see the Dragon Army in the vicinity. So there might still be a chance we could get there ahead of them.
This
Possibly.
Is the to take a cheese method because you want to put on duplicates to clear the trails.
I forget how far that bird statue that Hugh has can travel in a day. Like, could it get a message to them at Wakenreth?
Only lasts for 12 hours.
12 hours.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't have this. The spell is what lasts a full day. but the Silver Raven only lasts for 12 hours.
And it probably can't fly
And
40
it,
miles in 12 hours.
and it does take 3 days to recharge anytime that it is used.
Right. So we could do like a one-way message potentially if it could get to Wakenrath in 12 hours, but just don't know how fast it moves or if it's worth trying that approach. What's it called? Animal messenger?
Yes.
It can cover 24 hours for 50 miles in 24 hours for a flying messenger. So 25 miles. So roughly 4 hexes.
I
We
will
can get there.
I will say that you don't have to travel the full distance if you head back, if you do a bit of a backtrack.
Mhm.
As long as you get close enough to potentially be within Fargab distance, if they are there, which is 3 hexes, 18 feet, or 18 miles.
True. Very true.
Don't know which way it is, so check this.
I'm torn, Vass. You seem like you
Yeah.
want to go quickly. I imagine Hugh wants to go quickly.
I mean, it's the benefit of moving on our own without the army with us. We can
The
move
one that I took,
quicker
the one that I took,
and quieter.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if we get there and it's overrun with army, they've already beat us there anyway.
Yeah. If it's overrun, we can just leave without them noticing us, hopefully.
Yeah.
So the direction that we saw them moving when they crossed paths with us before,
I was already there.
would it have been
And then I got an arrow.
from the direction where we're intending to go to find the city? Like, do we have a sense of the cardinal direction they were walking in?
Hard to say for sure. Mainly because it seems that these were perhaps patrols that were sent out. The ones that you've interacted with seem to be that they were patrols. So if they were sent out, it has been because they are traveling units. They're not in any immediate direction to search for something. Who knows what? Maybe it's they're searching for the city the same as you. Maybe they were searching for the powerful item that Dalamar took. Maybe they're searching for you. Who knows?
Maybe they're searching for their lost buddies.
Yeah. They've got the buddy system in place. They need to make sure that they find their buddies. And so, and you would know that it is days worth of travel to the city from not just Wakenrath, but from where you currently stand. So even if they were in that direction, doesn't mean that they started out in that direction. They could have easily changed that
Sure.
at some point.
Yeah. That's where we're trying to go to. You've got to go. We go.
To the city?
That's my vote, but I will do, whatever we decide. I'll be on board.
Rue?
To the city.
So, packing up camp. Maybe a little disappointed in a companion that no longer travels with you. You take the information that you have
You want to.
and you begin traveling towards the city of Lost Names. And as you set out into the wastelands, that is where we will end our session this evening. So, thank you to our players for playing. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you to our viewers for viewing. I hope you guys enjoyed this as well. I'll see you all in our next stream. Until then, head over to wildwitch.com. Make sure to check us out there. Join us in our Discord to keep up to date with all of our announcements, to jump into a game yourself. And as always, may the ever-burning light forever guide your steps. Laters.